Hurts takes the snap. He's back. He's going to run. He's in! Touchdown! Jalen Hurts! The Eagles are just devouring the Giants. And it is A.J. Brown again! Another touchdown!
Just come down a little bit.
Huh?
I had to turn my light down a little bit.
All right. Well, we'll start now. Welcome back to the Linc Lineup. Hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas. We actually didn't wish you guys a Merry Christmas in our last episode. That's on us. Me mainly, because I am the host of this thing. So I take.
Yes, we did.
We did?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
I brought it up at the end.
Thank you. You're welcome. For the Christmas wish. But we're back. We're currently recording on Wednesday. It's Wednesday, right? Damn. We're late. Wednesday, December 27th at, we'll call it 8 Eastern. So glad to be back. Hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas. I know I did. Bryce, what'd you get for Christmas? Don't tell me everything. Just tell me your favorite thing.
My favorite thing?
Yeah, your favorite thing.
Can I give two favorite things?
Two favorite things. Go for it.
Okay. Well, one, my girlfriend bought me one of the Blackstone 28-inch griddles.
Mm-hmm.
Excited for that. And then my grandmother bought me. My grandma bought me two Eagles like tumbler glasses cups. Mm-hmm. I was like, yes, sir. Needed that.
Nice. Josh, what'd you get for Christmas?
Favorite thing I got was an Eagles victory.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it would have been a bad Christmas.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that mattered. So
yeah. Me and Caitlin and her side of the family, we decided no gifts. We're saving up for like a cruise or something. So that's what we're going to do. However, my mom, Caitlin got me a couple small gifts. She got me cards, and I got this guy right here. Even know who that is?
Oh yeah,
Eddie Brown.
That's Eddie Brown. Yeah. I got a rookie card. Pretty cool. Back-to-back years where I got a rookie card, even though I got a Kobe Dean signed card last year, and that might not be worth a thing. But we're going to think about it.
It might not even be worth the pack that the amount the pack cost.
Yeah, got to sell now.
It'd be worth less because it's signed. Like,
yeah, yeah.
They know he touched it, so
yeah, and that just stinks. But we had a lot of small gifts. A lot of things I needed, so I had a very, very good Christmas. And like Josh said, the Eagles victory.
Needed that.
Needed it. Definitely needed it. You either come out of this game feeling pretty good or pretty bad. And I have a feeling that we have our negative Nancy to the left of me or the right of me, depending on how this thing ends up. For sure, Bryce is going to be negative. But, the Eagles did win. It was, 33-25?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I know it was 8 points. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Bryce, what are your initial thoughts?
Okay, so let's just start from the beginning, get to the end. So I'm not going to be negative for the most part, but I will say something. In total of just this season alone.
Say that for a little bit later.
Okay, but this game, there was a time where I was like the most down on this team that I've ever been. It happened in this game. But to start out, you couldn't have started at a hotter pace. Honestly.
Felt good. Felt really good.
Got a 3-and-out, and the Britton Covey punt return. We need to have a conversation about that, dude. He might be one of the best, if not the best, punt returner in the league right now.
I also want to add this, and he's also leading the league and getting tackled or hit by his own players, because this is the second time this year I can remember that the player on the Eagles had slowed him down. I don't know who did it this time. I know Nolan Smith did the first time, but I'll have to look back and see who did it this time.
Yeah, but he has been incredible this year. Like it's almost like are you starting to like get the feeling of like every time he goes to return something, I'm like, all right, let's see what he can do this time. Like it's to the point of me like every time he catches a punt and is going to return it, in my mind I think that he's going to get a big return. Like it's starting to get to that point. Um, he definitely deserves a Pro Bowl. He honestly probably deserves all pro considerations. But yeah, he lit the spark at the start of this game. Offense actually capitalized in the red zone. And then everything was going good up to halftime. Hey, by the way, shout out Shaq Leonard. I thought he was cooked, but he actually played really well this game. I don't know if it may have been just the team that we were playing, but he made some. He had a couple tackle for losses. He had at least one tackle for loss, and I know he had a sack. But shout out Shaq. We all thought you were cooked, but looks like you could still play a little bit.
I believe that him.
Bullshit! You said last episode that he's cooked.
I mean, maybe I don't recall it.
But anyways, I thought he played well. To me, the defense actually played a lot better than what the score shows. And that leads me to this point. I think I come out of this game feeling a lot better if Dallas Goedert doesn't slip and it's a pick six. If that makes any sense. Because I actually think Jalen played really well. Other than that interception. DeAndre Swift played really well. After this game, I'm not saying this team. Never mind. I'm not even going to fucking get close to saying this team's back, but it relieved a lot of pressure in my mind, I guess. But it's also I'm going to contradict myself by my statement later in this show. So
nice. A little foreshadowing for the next segment, I guess. Josh, give me your instant. Well, it's not really instant because we're 2 days gone, but what are your initial reactions coming from this game?
Just for a bit of change of pace, I'm going to be intentionally a little negative about this. Playing the way we did and winning 33-25, if you tell me like take all the kind of wins that we get this season in a nutshell, that's it. It's yet another game where it was only close because of our self-inflicted mistakes, and it really should have been a blowout. But and again, it was against the Giants. Like that's the kind of team that we should be blowing out. So the fact that we play as well as we did and we still only win by 8 points, I mean, it's nice to win, obviously, but like that doesn't instill a ton of confidence in me that we're gonna be competing against the better teams in the league in the playoffs.
Well, me and Josh said it last week. Even if they go on a run of beating these next 3 games like 70-0, I still don't think our confidence really rises.
Well,
if we blew them out, I would be more confident. But the fact that it was yet another close win where like we didn't play a complete game from start to finish, it's just like it feels like it's the first 11 games again. Like, yeah, it's a win, like that's great, but it's not an impressive win.
Yeah.
Anything else you can take away before I take over the reins here and give my nice reaction?
That's all you do. I'm negative.
I will say that it was the best that DeAndre Swift has looked since the first few weeks of the season. Yeah. I was happy to see that. He looks great. I'm happy.
Yeah, definitely. And so I'm just going to talk and I'm going to transition to my overall take. So me and Bryce can go butt heads, I guess. And then Josh, I think I know where you're leaning, so we'll probably butt heads as well. I want to say this first and foremost. Me and Bryce have a little friend group that we talk to on Sundays, typically Sundays only. And, maybe Mondays after a loss, do like a welfare check, But what was I going with this? Oh, this season has been draining, by the way. So like we started this podcast, we thought that I know where I'm at now. We thought this podcast would be fun, and it would be awesome to come here every week, twice a week at least, and talk about our favorite football team. Because I want to talk about them all the time, but whenever you kind of have a platform, kind of like we do, granted it's not the biggest platform in the world right now, but we hope one day it gets there. It's tough. It's tough to come on here and talk about them.
It was so fucking frustrating to talk about.
Yeah, it's tough. After losses, it's not fun to get up here and sit down and talk about it because I say a lot of shit about the other team, and I know that at some point somebody's going to clip me and it'll make its rounds, and that'll be exhausting too. But I love this team. Love more than most things in this world. But the season's been extremely exhausting. But I'm glad I was able to do it with you guys. I know it's not over because we got a couple more weeks to go for sure. Hopefully, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can't remember. More weeks. Do the math there, buddy.
Because you got the 2 weeks.
17,
Super Bowl.
17, 18, wild card, division, conference, 8. I think. I don't think I even count on my other hand.
Well, you got to take into account for the 2 weeks for the Super Bowl.
Fuck it. You get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying here. All right, yeah. What Josh said. We'll roll with that one. But and then after that, we're going to come up here and talk after the season ends, and we're going to lead up to the free agency and the draft and all that fun stuff. But it's tough. It's draining. So sometimes, we did one episode a week because it is rough. It is rough. It is rough to talk about them sometimes, and especially this team. And this is where I want to lead into. This is where I'm going to transition. I feel like last year had been difficult to talk about this team as well. I feel like a lot of times we kind of get lost in the 2 playoff victories where we just cruised by and didn't face any adversity at all. We tend to forget that, even though Jalen Hurts was hurt, we lost to the Saints. We lost to the Cowboys on Christmas Eve. We barely beat the Bears. We barely beat the Cardinals. We didn't have a fantastic year that we think we had last year.
Did you listen to Colin Cowherd this morning or something?
No.
Because he's saying this exact. He said the exact same thing that you're just saying.
I've heard a speech, or a little bit of a speech, but I was at work, so I couldn't. He was
actually defending the Eagles for once. He was basically saying he feels like the expectations were so high this year, just based off of last year. But if you look back last year, we played terrible quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Last year, and we had multiple games where we barely won that we should have completely blew them out.
Yeah, we played Davis Mills, David Webb, I think his name was. We played who did we play? The
rookie
Saints.
Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, rookie Kenny Pickett.
Andy Dalton for the Saints.
We lost to them.
Yeah.
With our good defense,
almost lost to a much worse Bears team than they are this year.
Jared Goff before he found himself in Detroit, because that Detroit team wasn't great last year at the beginning. So, and then we almost lost Jordan Love. So it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows last year at all. And so that's kind of where I'm at. Now I'll give my view of the game. We come out, we're hot, right? We're up 17-3 going to halftime. 20-3 at halftime. We're up 17. The only thing that kind of irritated me was Jalen Hurts didn't go out of bounds. And so, I said to Bryce and our little friend group chat, that I liked what he tried to do there. I know that it was dumb, but for the first time in forever, I saw him show emotion. Because he headbutted, I forgot who it was. Was it Xavier McKinney?
Yeah.
He headbutted him. He got up like he was about to do something. Whenever he did mess up at the end of the half, he actually did this. He was like, "That's on me."
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, he would just stare off into space.
I get what you were saying when you were saying that, but at the time, I think I was just so fucking mad that he didn't run out of bounds that I just didn't want to hear anything that you had to say. But now looking back on it, I understand your point of view and what you're trying to say there. Just because that's not what you see from Jalen. It's what we have not seen from him this entire year, whether that him being hurt or him just not really showing emotion, or it's almost like he doesn't care or doesn't want to take accountability like he says he does. But that's like the first game you've ever seen some like actual emotion from him.
When was the last time you saw him not run out of bounds and like try to make a play? It's been a long time. And
the Minnesota Vikings
exactly
to last year.
Exactly. That's what I was going to bring up. That play reminded me of that, where he could have gone out of bounds, but he wanted to fight for the touchdown. He right that play right there. Obviously, like I said, can't state this enough. Was terrible. Was dumb. But this was the first time in a long time I've seen him show like. I know he shows heart because he plays. He plays hard, but like this was the first time I saw like passion for the first time in a long time. Because last year we got that, and I feel like we haven't got this year. And so like,
dude, I think there's something internally going on with this fucking team, dude.
I just think he thinks to himself he can't have fun until he gets there, and I feel like he took a lot of the blame from last year. The loss on himself. He played himself for quite a bit, and he has every right to. I mean, he did fumble the ball. We don't want to talk about it. We don't like talking about it, but he did fumble it. Gave him 3 points, but he played well that game. Like, you can have fun.
That was one of the best quarterback performances I think I've ever seen in a Super Bowl.
Yeah, like Jalen, like just let it fly and have fun, man. Just like don't like forget why you play the game, because it's fun. It is fun. Everybody growing up, that was their dream, was to make the NFL. Maybe not. Maybe there's some people that made it and they're like, I hate this thing, but don't forget that like it's supposed to be fun. You're playing a children's game, and so you don't have to be like all corporate. Let yourself have a good time, and I forgot the Brian Dawkins speech, but I wish I knew it. Off the top of my head. But maybe B-Dawk needs to come and give him a talk, because he was, he wasn't a quarterback, but man, he was the heart and soul of Philadelphia for a long time. And we wish that Jalen would be the heart and soul of Philadelphia. And I feel like he can be. Just let it show, because like he hasn't been like this his whole career, where he's just been like stoic, right? He's shown that he can be like passionate and all the other things. But anyway, like I said, we go into halftime, probably not where we want to be, and we come out, and then all of a sudden, kickoff time. I'm like, all right, Boston's returning it. I'm like, all right, here's his chance to be the giant killer. Nope, gets pancaked by his own guy, who threw a pancake earlier. That shouldn't have happened at all. And now the Giants get a very short field. They score. And then what else happened there? After that, that's whenever Dallas Goedert slipped and fell. Don't blame Jalen Hurts at all. Don't blame him at all. It wasn't like Dallas Goedert was slipping as he was throwing it. He threw it and he slipped. Who made the play? Dory Jackson?
Dory Jackson, yeah.
He played. I thought he was going to drop it. As soon as the ball went up in there, he started bobbling it. I was like, nah. Then he caught it, took it to the house. Nobody's going to catch him. Jalen, I don't know what the fuck you were doing there.
You were scolding the fuck out of him.
Yeah, did not give a damn about his house. And whatever. Bounce back. And then
the drive after from the offense was really, really good.
I can't remember. I couldn't tell you what that was.
It was the DeAndre Swift touchdown.
Oh yeah.
That was a really, really good drive.
Yeah, for sure. And then I'm kind of highlighting negative, so I'm definitely forgetting about the positives, because obviously second half was pretty negative. If you want to look at it that way. And then they have I think it's like 8 minutes left, and we're up like 13 at this point, maybe. And they throw like a 74-yard bomb. And here we go.
This team just doesn't know how to finish games.
Yeah.
They can't finish games to save the life to save their life.
Yeah. And so this is where my take comes in. This is now we're transitioning to the next segment right here, boys. So saddle up if you are on one side of the fence. Um, so this team, I think, is a great team. I don't know how I think it, but I do think it. I think they're a great team. I think that this game in particular, we could have put away. Um, the the kickoff return that happens once in a lifetime. You see your own guy come like 15 yards away and just smack you in the face. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know if he was trying to tell him, "Hey, like take a knee." I don't know where the fuck he came from. To be honest with you, but smacked him. Just, what are you doing? What are you doing, OZ? Go that way. Go that way. So like that doesn't happen, and you give him 3 points. The pick six, fluky, but like a lot of Jalen Hurts turnovers this year have been fluky, and just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Yeah. And then the big touchdown pass, I don't know what happened there. I don't know if it's blown coverage. I don't know if
Reed Blankenship got left on an island.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know what the call there was, but man, that was rough. But all I have to say is I think this team's great. I think that I see them adjusting to some of the things that we've noticed. Like I know they threw like one pass the middle of the field, but they saw it work. They saw Devontae Smith take a crosser to the house. And then Dallas Goedert does open up the middle of the field as well as a target. And like they're doing more motion. It's not a lot of motion, but it is motion. They took Quez out. So guess what the next step is to become a better team? Take James Bradbury off the fucking field. Take him off the field. Take his jersey, strip him of his jersey, put him in sweatpants and a hoodie, and tell him stand there. Because he has no business being on a football field again. Not when you have Keely Ringo, who's been playing awesome, by the way. Has been playing awesome. Has allowed like what, 15 yards?
Yeah, it's like 2 catches for 9. I think it's 9 yards.
Come on. You got Eli Ricks, who's been playing solid as well. Come on. Darius Slay's going to come back. He's been, I don't know if you saw that stat going around about him against like star receivers. Nobody's got 100 yards on him. CD doesn't have 100 yards in 2 games on him. Now, CD does avoid the star cornerback, so because he likes to run in the slot.
Pussy.
Yeah, it is what it is. But Devontae Max is coming back. Come on. You put Darius Slay, Keely Ringo, Devontae Maddox. That's solid. That's very solid. You get Zach Cunningham back. Shaq Leonard's getting his legs back. Maybe. Who knows? Then BVS out of nowhere becoming a stud right in front of our eyes. I mean, we had the pieces. The only thing that on the defense that concerned me besides James Bradbury is the front line, the D line. D line is the only thing that.
And I think that's somewhere where you do not want to be, especially in the postseason.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm one of his biggest fans. What the fuck is going on with Jalen Carter, dude?
I don't know.
I don't know if he's hit the rookie wall or what. It's just in because I seen it on Twitter of like his production has gone way down. And I've saw people talking about it in every single Georgia player's defense. They are playing a lot more snaps and a lot more games than they have ever had to play at Georgia. So it was like Jordan Davis last year started out playing really well, got hurt, kind of hit a wall when he came back. Keely Ringo, for one, didn't start out well this year. And now look at him. He's starting to play fairly better, pretty well when he's actually getting the opportunity to play. Nolan Smith started out kind of slow, but in the same way with Keely's case, just really wasn't getting the snaps to be on the field. By the way, Nolan Smith does not need to be an off-ball linebacker. Lose that fucking idea. Get rid of it. He looks lost out there in space. Like he does not know where he needs to be.
You know where he doesn't look lost at?
Hmm.
On the end when there's a wide receiver screen. He reads it perfectly, and he gets there. He runs it. He flies on the field. I can see why they would like him as an off-ball linebacker. Or like they don't mind trying him out there because he just flies, and he has like all like the measurables to be like an outside, like an off-ball linebacker, but he's definitely the edge rusher.
Yeah.
But to wrap up my take, basically is like, and I'm sure at the end of this I will give another rah-rah speech, but I my confidence hasn't dipped at all. In fact, seeing like small improvements as we get closer to the postseason has like made it a little bit. I had a little more confidence actually after this game, because it could have easily been 42-13 if those two plays don't happen, and who knows, it probably won't happen again. If I see Boston Scott return the kick though, and I see Olympi's case go the wrong way, duck and cover, boys. But I guess Josh, before Bryce gives his big speech, where are you at with this team going forward?
I'm kind of where I was last week. I mean, I'm slightly more optimistic, and obviously it was nice to win. I mean, I'll put it this way. If you had to put together a list of teams that I think can win the Super Bowl this year, the Eagles are on it. But we're not at the top of the list. Um, I don't know. I mean, I feel like we got a puncher's chance. I think if we do make some noise in the playoffs or win the Super Bowl, it'll be on uh, more of our offense getting their act together than the defense. I just think that's more likely. I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm ready to get hurt, but
Not this year. We're not getting hurt this year, boys.
hopefully not. Hopefully, and there's a real chance we don't. I mean, there's a good chance we finish out the regular season with a couple wins, maybe get the bye, win it all. Who knows? But yeah, like I said, cautiously optimistic. And there's not a lot. I mean, there's not a lot of teams that can say that they're on the list of teams that can win the Super Bowl this year, and so it's good that we're on that list. But
right,
yeah, I don't think we're the favorites by any means.
Nobody's going to want to play us when the playoffs start. It's just a fact. Nobody's going to want to. We're not going to be We're not going to be fucking Seahawks, like where everybody's like, I want to play Seahawks, even though at this point I don't want to play them right now. But I mean, nobody's going to want to play the Eagles. Bryce, where are you at with the Eagles?
All right. Well, this is gonna hurt a lot of hearts to hear this, but I'm a realist. And I've come to the understanding and the mindset. So this is how I feel on this season and on this team alone. This has been probably one of the biggest fucking letdowns I think I have seen from a team maybe in my entire time of watching football, dude. Like this, just based on of like, I'm basing this off of how we finished last year and what we did in the offseason to build up to this team and to this season alone. This season to me has been, I know we have 11 wins. I get it. I understand. This season to me, I don't know why, has been just fucking miserable to watch. And I think it might be just me holding this team to such a high standard and just knowing what they have done in the past and knowing the personnel that they have on this team. It just fuck it. I don't know. It kills me to watch them make mistakes because I know of the things that they can do and know where they can be. And it is just like, I don't know. It's weird because Josh gave some like positivity towards it, towards the playoffs. Not me. I think you get into the playoffs, you're going to get matched up with a team that's going to expose the weaknesses that you have on your roster, and then it's curtains, lights out. You're going home. Like I don't. I'm just one of the people like I don't want to just make it to the playoffs. I want to actually get into the playoffs and actually have a good feeling that we're going to do something and make it somewhere. But I'm just not one of the people that just live on just making the playoffs. Like to me, the playoffs is almost just mediocrity. Like in this league, if you have a good team and you're just fighting just to get into the playoffs, like the Cowboys, you're just a fucking mediocre team. Like you're not a team that needs to be taken serious.
Side note, before we move on to the next point, who actually thinks the Cowboys could win on the road? I don't know if they can. I don't know if they can. So, like, you know that scenario where, like, oh, the 49ers get the 1 seed with the 2 seed, the 49ers will play the Cowboys, and then we'll play probably like the Lions at home or like somebody else. Who's to say the Cowboys win? Because they suck on the road. And if it's a grass team, oh man, they're fucked. Continue. Sorry.
But I don't know how you guys feel about this season. But just to me, this has been one of the biggest fucking just disappointments that I think I've seen in a long time. But it goes, I think it almost drives it the way I feel just more internally on like what you're seeing coming from like the team. Like for one, I love him to death. AJ Brown not want to talk to the media or whatever. AJ never does that. AJ doesn't do that. AJ always wants to have like the spotlight and the TV time on him in interviews. If he's about to shit on somebody that bad in this organization and just trash of what we're going on, there's something very, very wrong going on internally with this team. And that scares me because it almost feels like it's either head coach or it's the entire coaching staff. And I don't know if I can just watch my team kill itself, if that makes sense. Just kill itself internally with like coaching staffs, and we're fucking just revolving door of just coaches like that. I hate to see that. Like I don't because I feel like that leads to a lot worse problems going on. Like if your star players are upset, Devontae Smith was pissed after a win, but good on him to actually say that. AJ doesn't want to talk to the media. Jordan Mailata a couple weeks ago was saying that we are just playing absolutely fucking terrible, and bro, that's not something you want to see coming from your star pieces. And I don't know, this season to me has just been shit.
I think you look at it one of two ways. The way you're looking at it, or that they're actually taking accountability, and like they know that they can be better. And like all the things that they are saying, like to the media, is like true in a way. Like, the whole standard thing. Maybe they actually like believe in that stuff to the point where like it is beating their brain where like it is true. Like if they're not beating teams by 30 points, they know that it's not good enough. And so,
but I feel like in this league, you honestly have to like there's teams out there, like we get it, they're professional athletes. But when it comes to rosters and comparing them, they should have fucking killed this team. Like not even close. Like it I don't know. I feel weird about it, dude.
I mean, sure. And if you look at it that way, I mean, the Ravens shouldn't have beat the 49ers as bad as they did. So like you can look at it one of two ways. And it's at the end of the day, it's NFL, they're professional players. But like you said, you look at it one way, I'm looking at the other way, and to be determined how it actually plays out. I'm curious to see. AJ's going to talk later this week. I'm curious to see what he has to say, and I feel like he's probably going to be one of the more like open book type players. So like he's probably collecting his thoughts and he doesn't want to say anything like too extreme. So he's probably a little more calculated than we're giving him credit for. So I'm curious about that. We'll see what happens. I don't think that Jalen Hurts is going to let the locker room go down. I think he's a good leader. Even though, like I've said millions of times, I don't like the way he is. I'm on the sidelines, but I have faith in him. I still have faith in Nick somehow, somewhere. But I think we'll be okay. And I look forward to the game on Sunday. Best part about Sunday is we play at 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock, depending where you are. And we can probably get this podcast done at like 4 or 5. Be done with it until later on in the week. That's awesome. We haven't had that in a long time. Yeah. Actually got a question for you guys. So we're talking about takes and stuff. What take has been floating around social media, it's across like all platforms that has been like put out there and you're just sick and tired of hearing?
Let me think on it.
Because there's a couple of them. The Eagles haven't played their best ball yet. Eagles are frauds. That was a take. Which one? Nick Sirianni sucks. Jalen's running back.
I think it's Jalen getting a lot of hate. That's the one that kind of drives me crazy because it's coming from a lot of people that don't watch games, and you can tell they don't watch the actual games just based on how they're talking and comments and stuff like that or whatever. They automatically point to his turnovers and stuff. Let's not forget Brock Purdy was like the leading front runner. Brock Purdy has 11 interceptions now. Had 4 in one game. Name me a time Jalen Hurts has had 4 picks in one game. I don't know of one. I can't think of one.
Yeah.
I think the lights were a little too bright for Brock Purdy. Granted, a lot of them were like tip drill picks, but probably shouldn't be throwing them anyways. But I think that ties into my take too, that Brock Purdy is just like this elite quarterback. That take is really, I wouldn't say getting under my skin, but it's really annoying to see just based on the team that he has around him and what he does to get those statistics. Instead of fucking check down to Christian McCaffrey and let him run 80 yards, all of a sudden Brock Purdy has 320 yards passing in a game and 4 touchdowns based off of throws that were within 15 yards.
Fun fact, do you know that Tommy DeVito and Jalen Hurts are the same age?
Really?
Yep. In case you forgot, Jalen Hurts is only 25 years old. He's been in the league for 4 years, and he's only 25. Like, as far as like your take, it's like everybody hates on Jalen Hurts and stuff like that. This is not his final form at all. We might not see his final form until he's 30. Yeah. So like we have plenty of time. He has plenty of time to develop. I think he's pressing, and I think he's not showing it. He's not telling it, but he is pressing a little bit. He wants to make sure we win, and I feel like as we've gotten closer, I feel like that shit worked as we were winning, and we're like 10-1, you know. But as we started losing, he's like, I got to do something about it. And I feel like he is pressing. I'm happy because you're showing something. But I understand. I'm the same way with like the takes and stuff. Like Jalen is an elite. Jalen isn't this. Brock Purdy's better. Yada yada yada. Dak's better. I'm not taking. There are very few quarterbacks I would take, if any, over Jalen right now. He's had a down year. There's every quarterback you can look at their football reference page. You will see a down year. You will see a down year, and typically it comes after a really good year because expectations are so high. So like, you'll see as a down year. I'm not saying he's playing great this year, but you know, it is what it is. Josh, do you have a take that you are tired of hearing?
It's one I haven't seen a lot, but I just want to nip it in the bud before I see any more of it. I do see a small collection of people saying that, or I would say greatly overreacting to any drama involving AJ Brown. I've even seen some people saying we should try to trade him in the offseason or move on from him.
Yeah, that's fucking
I think
asinine,
that's
dude.
beyond ridiculous. I'd like to remind anybody who thinks that of our receiver situation before AJ Brown. Just go look at the receivers that Wentz was throwing to. Yeah, no, I haven't heard a lot of it, but I don't want it to build up any steam or any momentum. I don't want AJ Brown to think in the slightest that any collection of the fans would not want him on the team. It's just outrageous. Definitely.
I think fans have to understand that too, especially with a player of AJ Brown's caliber and just AJ as a person. AJ's really active on social media.
Yeah.
AJ Brown sees this shit and sees everything that these fans are saying. Bro, that I don't care how much of a strong headed and like almost fortitude mind that you have. Bro, that shit gets to people. Everybody's human. Bro, that shit would crumble me, just me being because I wear my emotions on my sleeve and that's just the type of person I am. Seeing that kind of hate coming from the people who's supposed to be rooting for me and be actually still playing well. Bro is 103 yards off of breaking the Eagles single season receiving record in yards. And there's fans out there talking down on him, talking bad about him, or what like us as fans have to do better. Grow the fuck up. These are grown men putting their livelihood, their lives, their health, their body, their minds on the line for our entertainment. These are not they're human beings. Let's try to remember that. I'm one of the biggest critics. I live in the moment. I talk a lot of shit, but I would never want them to lose Devontae, Jalen, AJ, Jason Kelsey, Lane Johnson. I don't the entire offensive line. I wouldn't want them to lose any of them. I mean, Dallas Goedert. I do not want to go through another season of like our COVID year and Jalen's rookie year. I'd never want to go through another fucking season like that ever. So that's just my take on it.
Yeah, and like you said, they're human. Nobody's gonna go their entire career without ever having some drama go on. Like it's just gonna happen. Like it doesn't mean that he's disgruntled and things are never gonna be okay again. Like yeah, he's pissed off or whatever. I mean, maybe he wants the ball more. Maybe whatever's going on. Like yeah, so what?
Yeah,
he's human.
Yeah, I think you can only hold the emotions back for so long, and like it's not healthy. It's not healthy at all. To just keep on holding back, and at some point you want to hit a breaking point. And I think good on him for not talking to the media if he doesn't want to. Don't do it. You'll pay a fine, of course, but what's the point? And then he says he's going to clear it up. Going to talk to the media later this week. That's good, and whatever he says will be interesting. And
I think media day is actually tomorrow, isn't it? Like they're doing on Thursdays, I'm pretty sure.
Well, he said he will talk to them. He'll give them a chance to talk to them. But I think he feels the same way like Devontae feels and everybody else feels. Like we won, that's great. Winning is awesome, but we also know we could do better.
I think that's the biggest thing that's getting to this team mentally. Is like they're not performing to the level that they know that they can play at. They seen it last year. We all seen it last year. And I honestly think last year was kind of just scratching the surface of what this caliber of an offense can be. In my mind, I don't know if y'all believe this. AJ's got the capability of being a 2,000-yard receiver.
He was on pace for it.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely capable of it. To me, he's capable of 2,000 yards and 20-plus touchdowns. That's just the kind of player I think AJ is. Devontae Smith, honestly, I wouldn't want anybody else as my second receiver. I can't talk highly enough of Devontae Smith. And I honestly, like, from his interview, this may sound kind of cliche just because I'm a fan of him too. But I'm like, dude, I was like, that shit right there is like instilled in you at Alabama. Like, he's coming from a program of that high pedigree and like that much discipline. I was like, when I was listening to his interview, I'm like, bro, that's Nick Saban talking. I'm like, that's identical to like something Nick Saban would say into like a post game press conference. Like, yeah, we played good, but I mean, yeah, we won the game, but we played like fucking shit. I mean, that's That's how it is. I think when you come from programs like that with that much pedigree and that's instilled in you at a young age and transition in your life, I think a lot of it you carry with you and just your mentality and as a person. So like I don't know. I think a lot of the fan base might be overreacting when we're talking about AJ or Jalen. Um, I knew Devontae was kind of getting a little flack at the beginning of the year because he wasn't nearly producing like he was, but like I said earlier, I wouldn't want anybody else on this team. As much as it fucking pains me to watch this team this year, I don't know why, but it just pisses me off because I feel like there's something else besides the players that's going on that's holding them back.
That brings me to my next segment. This little mini segment. Panic level. 1 being cool as a cucumber, 10 being, sound alarms is bad. What is your confidence in Jalen Hurts? Bryce first. So like panic wise, are you panicking or are you still cool?
Are we just basing it off like just Jalen's
So
play?
right now, how you feel right now? How you feel right
Just
now?
like for the rest of the season, not like his career and stuff.
How you feel right now?
3.
3? All right.
Because I don't think Jalen's a problem this year.
Oh, I understand. Josh?
Yeah, I would say 3 or 4. I don't think Jalen's the problem. I don't think he's been perfect. I don't think he's been as good as last year, and I do think he's kind of forcing things a little bit. I think he just wants to get back to the Super Bowl so bad that that's all he's fixated on. He's not, taking it like one play or one game at a time. I think he's just super dialed in to making the Super Bowl no matter what. And I think to his detriment, but I definitely don't think he's the issue this year. So yeah, like 3 or 4.
All right, I'm going 1. I love my quarterback. I don't have a worry. I really don't. All right. Locker room panic level. Where are we at, Bryce?
Like a 4, 5.
Oh, so you don't think it's that bad? You don't believe what the majority of people seem to believe.
Yeah. I definitely think there's some little stuff going on, but I don't think it's the locker room itself. If you were to ask me the coaching staff and what's creating these problems, that's a different question. But the personnel and players in the locker room, no, I don't think that's a problem.
Do you think they're turning their back? So let's say they are turning their back on a coach. Do you think it's Nick Sirianni or do you think it's Brian Johnson?
I think it might be the whole coaching staff collectively to me, but it starts at the top.
Besides Stoutland, right?
Yeah. Besides Stoutland, I actually think Matt Patricia's actually coached decently. He's coached a decent last 2 games. But offensively wise, bro, I don't know. There is something holding this fucking team back. And it can't be the players. There's no way it could be the players, right? Like I don't think I wouldn't think the players are regressing. I mean, couldn't be. Schematically, I think something's going on that's ruffling feathers. And it's not a good place to be if you're a coach. Because if I'm Harry Roseman, I'm seeing this shit, bro, and I'm like, that the team I just put together, and this is what we're doing. Like, I'm looking at Nick, Brian, fucking Kevin Patullo, looking at everybody, saying y'all better figure it out because them seats are starting to warm up.
Josh, panic level in the locker room. Where you at?
Not considering the coaching stuff,
Just players in general.
I would say like a 2. I'm really not concerned. I think we have the leadership. I think they all to get along. I think any disagreements or gripes that anybody have is nothing serious. I don't think that's really causing our issues.
Yeah, the same way. Last question, and then we'll kind of wrap this up. Do we think? Let's see, have more questions for this. Well, never mind. I'll change the question. Do we think that they're blowing like the media is blowing this week out of proportion. Like the AJ thing, what it looked like Nick was yelling at Hassan Reddick for, he's like, get the fuck back on the field. Even though I saw a different angle of it, it sounded like he said, go win the game, get the fuck back on the field. Like it was like, yeah, do that. Do we think that everything's been blown up proportion? Like just a tiny stuff from like this week. Like of course, like the AJ side eye, Devontae seems like he was going back and forth with Nick.
I mean, to be honest, no, I don't think it was blown out of proportion. I think that's something that low key might have been going on this year, and the cameras just kind of finally caught it. I don't know. I didn't necessarily like if he's yelling at Hassan in like a bad, like negative way. I don't like that from Nick, especially like a player of Hassan's caliber. But Hassan also, it's a two-way street. Hassan can't come all the way off the field when during that time just to talk to Jeremiah Washburn, like the defensive line coach, about something. So I mean, I can understand that, and it was a flag. Like you can't go low on a quarterback. I get it, but I don't know. I just didn't like the way it looked.
I wish I'd clear it up. That's what I was saying. I wish I would just be honest about it.
Yeah.
Josh, you think they're blowing it out of proportion?
Yeah, I think they're trying to make something out of nothing in certain cases. The one that really jumped out to me was like, I know you guys have probably seen the picture of like AJ like kind of side-eyeing Sirianni. I saw one person like saying like, oh, you can literally see him like biting his lips so he doesn't say something. And I saw the clip that the picture was like taken from, like he's literally just standing there, just kind of like watching what's going on. He wasn't holding back from like saying something to Sirianni. He was just kind of standing there, just like.
It was like he was kind of in his own world.
Yeah, like he wasn't. There was no altercation, or he wasn't like holding back from saying anything. Like, the media is going to take it and run with it. So anything to get clicks.
I will say, last thing about the game itself, I'm glad we don't have Darren Waller on the team because what the fuck was he doing? For that last catch, and then just be like, oh shit, that shit hurt. That shit hurt. Coach, get me out of here. He'd been cut right there. Like, are you serious?
Bitch, get the fuck up.
He was
What
like,
are you doing?
Like, sub, let's up. And then here's the thing: if I'm the Eagles side and they put out a sub out there, I'm taking my sweet ass time getting a sub out there because we have the chance to sub out, and so like we have to be ready. I'm taking my sweet ass time. I'm like, hey, you go walk out there, trip over the grass or something. What are you doing, Darren? Like I know he got up, but like unless you're like dead, get up, stand up, and then you can go on the sideline. That was awful. And if I was a Giants fan, I'd be sick that we traded a third round pick for him. All right, so let's wrap this up with just two questions. These can be quick hitters. Are we changing the way we feel about the 49ers after what we saw happen against the Ravens?
Yes, but I don't think we have the tools and personnel to do what the Ravens did.
Fuck that. We do. We have heart. We have grit. We have Reed Blankenship.
We don't have athletic linebackers like the Ravens do.
Yeah, that'd be nice to have one.
They're athletic. They just don't have the football IQ. No one's more
Patrick
athletic
Queen,
than Nolan Smith.
Yeah.
I understand the Christian
But he's
McCaffrey
not doing
touchdown.
that.
The Christian McCaffrey touchdown makes his stat line look a little bit better than it actually was. Patrick Queen took him out of the fucking game completely. Like, Patrick Queen was dominating out there. If I'm Harry Roseman, the Ravens declined his fifth-year option. I'm doing everything in my power to try to trade for that man. I don't care what it is, bro. He balled out, dude, and it was fucking awesome to watch. Shout out Kyle Hamilton too, and Marlon Humphrey. You gotta kill Debo right there, dude. What's this weak ass shoulder check? You're supposed to Sheldon Brown his shit, dog. I'm talking decleat him. No, I mean I get it. Debo's a bigger receiver, like thicker body, but bro, fucking run through him. God, nothing would make me more happy just fucking seeing that. Oh, jeez.
I hear you. We also have Shaq Leonard. I don't know if you know that, but that's athletic. That's as athletic as they come.
Motherfucker moves like me.
Yeah. Well, oh yeah, you're washed now.
Yeah, I'm cooked, bro.
Josh, how are you feeling about the 49ers? You feel any better? Feel worse? You feel like we have a chance to beat them this time if we do face them again?
I mean, honestly, I feel like I don't know. Like Bryce said, I don't know if we have the personnel to do what the Ravens did, at least from a linebacker perspective. It did make them seem a little more. Made them seem more beatable. Obviously, watching them get their asses handed like that. But
I mean, the blueprint is out now, so
blueprint's out. It's
I
just a
think the
matter of if we
blueprint
can
is just
copy it.
make Brock Purdy play quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm like, it makes me a little more confident. I mean, it was nice to see that happen. Like, makes him seem more mortal. But I don't know if it really, how much it affects our matchup with them. Because I mean, it's like what the Ravens did. Like, I feel like that's not, it wasn't rocket science. You know, like they were like brought pressure and shut down Christian McCaffrey. Like, I mean, it's easier said than done. So I don't know if we
To
could
me,
duplicate
when we
that.
match up against them, I don't think James Bradbury needs to be on the field.
It'd be nice if he wasn't. Yeah.
I think hot take. I think maybe it's not a hot take. I think if Christian McCaffrey's on that team is like barely above average.
If he's not on that team,
If he's not on that team,
oh yeah,
yeah,
he's got how many touchdowns this year? 20
a lot, too much, too many. I like even though you have like, I didn't agree with it until I kind of watched him a bit more. Brandon Ayuk is by far and away their second best weapon. Like,
oh yeah,
no doubt.
Brandon Ayuk's
It's amazing.
he's tough, dude.
Yeah,
He's tough.
Debo's cool if he gets the ball, but like if you have decent tacklers, he's not doing anything special. Which we didn't have decent tacklers that day. And George Kittle, I think, is a bum, but yeah,
George Kittle had a good game against the Ravens.
Fuck him. Anyway, last question.
That offensive line is fucking sus, too.
I think it's gonna be different. I think it's gonna be different if we beat them. If we make them.
I will say this though, in my mind, you know who decleats fucking Debo right there? Sidney Brown.
Sidney Brown, yeah.
Oh,
Sidney
yeah.
Brown fucking decleats him, dude.
That's who you need. He's not gonna make the tackle. He's gonna make the tackle like 50% of the time, but like, he'll slow down somebody.
If it's 50% of the time, if it's 50% of the time, you get two plays just like that of Debo and Sidney's gonna fly by him at least one time. But that one time he doesn't, Debo's probably not playing another snap in that game. Sidney might kill him, dude.
We'll see. But like I said, I feel like this team's different than what it was 3 weeks ago when we played the 49ers. And it's personnel-wise and coaching-wise. So, like, who knows what will happen.
Honestly, think just looking back at that game, our biggest fault, the reason we got our ass beat like that, honestly think was just our tackling was so bad. I think it was just really bad. If you clean up on tackling, I think it's a lot more competitive game.
Definitely.
What about?
Yeah, definitely. Last question, and we'll talk about this more the next episode. We cheering for the Cowboys or Lions this week?
Lions. I get the playoff implications or whatever, but I'm cheering for the Lions. I will never. I don't give a fuck what scenario it is. I could never. I could never do it. I could never bring myself to do it.
One, not afraid of the Lions. In Detroit, in Philly, doesn't matter. Two, I'm not rooting for Dallas under any circumstance.
I think there's also a chance the Vikings beat them the following week.
Maybe.
Who beat the
Lions? They play them again, and then I think the Vikings will be playing for their playoff hopes. So I gotta roll with the Cowboys this week, man. I got to cheer for them.
What a sick fuck are you, dude?
I don't know.
How are you the host of an Eagles podcast? And you're gonna sit here and say you're cheering for the Dallas Cowboys?
Let's be honest, it's not the most ideal situation, and I won't be like, yeah, like CD, fucking play him, man. Let's fucking go. I won't be like that. But like, if the Cowboys win, awesome. If they lose, awesome. If it's a tie, I don't know how
Chase,
that helps.
give me your initial reaction.
I'll root for a tie. That I can do it.
Last second Hail Mary, Dak Prescott to CeeDee Lamb to win the game. what are you doing on your couch? Or you're just like, oh, cool. Where you like,
I think
oh shit, or you're like, oh fuck.
I think I'll react as like if I saw like if it happened like the Bengals like Browns game, like I'm like, oh, like wow, you see that? Like that's all that was cool.
Like neutral, but you're not really
Yeah,
invested.
I don't be like, let's fucking go. No, I'm not going to do that. Come on. When I say I want to cheer for the Cowboys, I prefer that outcome as far as like the Cowboys winning because I do think we take care of business these next 2 weeks, and then having that number 2 spot would be nice. I'm not going to openly cheer for them, be like, hey, go boys, or whatever they say. Yeah, so that's.
I just want to shut that fan base up completely. I they had their hearts ripped out, and I immediately got on Bleacher Report and got on the community thing and went to the Dallas Cowboys thing just to see how they were feeling. Dude, were in fucking shambles after that game. Dude, they're like, this same old team, same old bullshit. First round exit again. Yes, dude.
Get used to it, boys.
Hey, they're not wrong.
Very soul to soul, man. You won't be seeing another one for a long, long time. So yeah, that's gonna wrap up the show. We've probably BS for the past 35 minutes here, but yeah, that's a good show as always. I enjoy coming on the screen, talking to you guys, even though sometimes it's stressful and tiring. But have no fear, we'll be back for another episode to preview this upcoming game against the Jonathan Gannon led Cardinals. Big shocker. Fuck that guy. I hate him. And I can't wait to see how Philly reacts to him. Wish I was there at that game. We should have went to that one. Yeah. Might have some big news coming up in the next week or so. Stay tuned for that. Anything else I can think of? Follow the show. All socials at the Linc Lineup. We're posting stuff. We have posted more things these past 2 weeks than we have the past 3 months. Go us. You can follow us on X at me at Cardiac Chase, Bryce at I am Bryce Haynes, and Josh at the Pre2. You're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that other stuff. Leave a review. Leave a review. Subscribe, follow, whatever you do on your favorite platform. Do that. You guys have been awesome. YouTube, you stepped it up. Oh man, you guys stepped it up. Had one of our best YouTube videos in a long, long time. Hopefully, we can continue that momentum we've gained. So let's shoot for 5 likes on this video. So if you do watch this, like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, all that fun stuff. But do it. And as always, until next time, go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.